In a passionate plea for Americans to understand the threats of climate change and how dangerous Donald Trump is to the nation, Joe Biden called for Americans to dismiss Trump's cynical attempts to paint Black Lives Matter and minorities as the biggest threat to suburbs, and to open their eyes to the realization that suburbs are facing fires that are ripping through neighborhoods, superstorms that are literally tearing homes from their foundations, and floods that are devastating cities.
Donald Trump's climate denial may not have caused these fires and record floods and record hurricanes, but if he gets a second term, these hellish events will continue to become more common, more devastating, and more deadly. Meanwhile, Donald Trump warns that integration is threatening our suburbs. It's ridiculous. But you know what is actually threatening our suburbs? Wildfires are burning the suburbs in the West. Floods are wiping out suburban neighborhoods in the Midwest. Hurricanes are imperiling suburban life along our coast. If we have 4 more years of Trump's climate denial, how many suburbs will be burned in wildfires? How many suburban neighborhoods will have been flooded out? How many suburbs will have been blown away in superstorms? If you give a climate arsonist 4 more years in the White House, why would anyone be surprised if we have more America ablaze? If you give a climate denier 4 more years in the White House, why would anyone be surprised when more of America is underwater? We need a president who respects science, who understands that the damage from climate change is already here. Unless we take urgent action, will soon be more catastrophic.
Biden also used the moment to tie in the racial unrest and the pandemic that has wiped out nearly 200,000 Americans under Trump's leadership.
Which makes President Trump's climate denialism, his disdain for science and facts, all the more unconscionable. Once again, he fails the most basic duty to a nation. He fails to protect us from the pandemic, from an economic freefall, from racial unrest, from the ravages of climate change. It's clear that we're not safe in Donald Trump's America. This is Donald Trump's America. He's in charge. What he doesn't get is that even in a crisis, there's nothing beyond the capacity of the American people when we stand up and act together. And while so many of you are hurting right now, I want you to know that if you give me the honor of serving as your president, we can and we will meet this moment with urgency and purpose. We can and we will solve the climate crisis. And we'll build back better than we were before.
Biden also explained the difference between Trump's view of climate change that qualify, as Biden puts it, as a surrender and that puts our nation on dangerous grounds, and his own view that climate change is a challenge that we can work to overcome, and how we can transform our nation with a modern plan that will create jobs and put us on a cleaner, safer path into the future for all Americans, not just the ones who voted for Biden.
You know, when Donald Trump thinks about climate change, he thinks hoax. When I think about it, I think jobs. Good paying union jobs that put Americans to work, building a stronger, more climate resilient nation. A nation modernized. We have modernized water and transportation systems. An energy infrastructure to withstand the impacts of extreme weather and changing climate. When Donald Trump thinks about renewable energy, he sees windmills somehow as causing cancer. I see American manufacturing, American workers racing to lead the global market. I see farmers making agriculture the first in the world to achieve net zero emissions, and in the process, gaining new sources of income. When Donald Trump thinks about LED light bulbs, he says he doesn't like them because the lights are no good. They always make him look orange. I see small businesses and master electricians designing and installing award-winning energy conservation measures, rebuilding buildings across the country. This is going to reduce electrical consumption and save businesses hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in energy cost. While he turns against our allies, I'll bring us back into the Paris Agreement. I'll put us back in the business of leading the world on climate change. And I'll challenge every other country to up the ante on climate commitments. Where he reverses the Obama-Biden fuel efficiency standards, he picks big oil. He picks big oil companies over American workers, even when the automobile industry agreed. So we have a choice. We can invest in our infrastructure to make it stronger, more resilient, improving the health of Americans and creating millions of good-paying jobs, while at the same time tackling the root causes of climate change. Or we can continue down the path Donald Trump has us on, a path of indifference, costing tens of billions of dollars to rebuild, when the human cost, the lives and the livelihoods and the homes and the communities destroyed are immeasurable. We have a choice. We can commit to doing this together because we know that climate change is the existential challenge that's going to determine our future as a country for our children, our grandchildren, and our great-grandchildren. Or we can do it Donald Trump's way. Ignore the facts, deny reality, which amounts to a full surrender and a failure to lead. It's backward-looking politics that's going to harm the environment, make communities less healthy, and hold back economic progress while other countries race ahead. And it's a mindset that doesn't have any faith in the capacity of the American people to compete, to innovate, and to win. Like the pandemic, dealing with climate change is a global crisis. And that requires American leadership. It requires a president for all Americans. So as the fires rage out west on this day, our prayers remain with everyone under the ash. I know it's hard to see the sun rise, believing today will be a better day than yesterday. Americans face this historic inflection point, a time of real peril, but also a time of extraordinary possibilities. I'm confident. I know we can do this. We will do this. This is the United States of America. We've seen the light through the dark smoke. We never give up. Always, without exception, every time we succeed when we try. May God bless our firefighters and keep them safe, and our first responders. May God protect our troops.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to like this video to help it spread, and subscribe and turn on notifications so you get my next video in your inbox. For Reflect News, I'm Brendan Plank. I'll see you in the next one.